Donald Trump is having a psychotic meltdown this morning as the memorandum of understanding with Iran has all but collapsed. Frankly, it collapsed before it was even signed. But here's what Donald Trump is posting this morning. Videos of himself doing this. I'm not quite sure what he's even doing in the reflecting pool, but this is how the President of the United States is behaving right now. Then he's making posts like this, antagonizing Iran as the MOU hangs on a thread after Israel targeted Lebanon, killing over 30 people in Lebanon last night and into the morning, a clear violation of the MOU. Donald Trump is posting this. We didn't meet out of desperation. Iran did. They are finished. We'll play out the 60 days. They get no money. No 10 cents, exclamation point. The war has diminished Iran. It doesn't any longer have an air force, a navy, anti-aircraft equipment, radar, or practically anything else. And yet the Democrats say that Iran is better off now than it was 4 months ago. Can you imagine getting away with that? How stupid can some people be? DJT. And yes, Donald, the reflecting pool is perfectly blue. It's crystal clear. There's no algae anywhere. We're just not going to accept reality and just embrace your dystopian nightmare. No, we're going to stand up to you, liar, fascist, loser. The whole world knows that. And by the way, I'll talk about this in a little bit in the video. Donald Trump called up an Italian TV network and started bashing the Prime Minister of Italy, Giorgia Meloni. I mean, she seemed to be standing up to Donald Trump at the G7, and Donald Trump doesn't like strong, powerful women or strong, powerful anybody, but he hates strong, powerful women. He hates women in general. And so he called up an Italian TV network this morning. I mean, think about how petty it is, and said, yeah, Meloni, she begged to talk to me. She begged just to see me, and she wanted photos with me. I was so grossed out by her, but I let her take a photo with me. And then Giorgia Meloni responded with a video saying, I don't understand why the President of the United States behaves in such a deranged manner. She posted a video this morning. It's unacceptable why he behaves like this to allies while coddling his enemies. She goes, it's beyond me. It is odd. It's bizarre. She basically says it is deranged. And the way she's talking there publicly is how the rest of the world feels about Donald Trump. And she said, I'll just show you the video right now of what she said. Then I want to get back to what's going on today. And then we learned from that book, Regime Change in New York Times, that Donald Trump makes Howard Lutnick refer to himself as Donald Trump's pussy. That's how Donald Trump makes Howard Lutnick. I'm your $25 billion pussy, is what Howard Lutnick calls himself to Donald Trump. Folks, this is the most deranged regime. Anyway, I digress. Let me show you Giorgia Meloni first, and I'll get into some of this other stuff. Here's what she posted moments ago.
So certain things deserve an immediate response. Donald Trump's statements are completely made up. I am frankly stunned. I don't know why the President of the United States behaves this way with his own allies. It's not the first time this has happened, after all. I can only say it's a shame. He doesn't show the same determination with the enemies of the West, with the enemies of the United States, with leaders with whom instead he proves to be much more accommodating. But he must remember one thing. Italy and I never beg.
I'm going to talk about Lutnick also. MOU collapsing. The IRGC, the Islamic Republic Revolutionary Guard, said it was shutting down the Strait of Hormuz due to the Israeli attacks on southern Lebanon. Here are the latest developments. Iran demanded guarantees that Lebanon fighting, that Israel attacking in Lebanon and blowing up buildings and killing 30, 40 people overnight, and they're doing it on a daily basis, and before resuming talks with the U.S. The talks were supposed to take place in Switzerland. There currently right now is a Qatari delegation there with a Swiss delegation there, but no United States, no Iran, because that trip was canceled when Iran said we're not going to go based on Israel further attacking Lebanon in violation of the MOU. Netanyahu vowed that Israel will stay in southern Lebanon as long as necessary. Israel continues its strikes. Israel officials believe that Trump has lost interest and Israel may need to act alone, and they don't care what Donald Trump says. And Israel National Security Minister Ben Gvir calls for a mask of escalation and says that all of Lebanon must burn. And then you had their finance minister Smotrich said we're going to unleash hell in Lebanon. And then Donald Trump is out there making weird social media posts of fish tanks on people's faces while he is spreading chemicals in the reflecting pool. As I noted, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps said they're closing down the Strait of Hormuz. They put out the following message. Since Israel's withdrawal from Lebanon, the complete lifting of the naval blockade, and the withdrawal of American terrorist forces from the Persian Gulf and the region are among the main conditions of the MOU between Iran and the United States, the Strait of Hormuz remains closed until these conditions are met. All ships are requested for the sake of their security and safety do not approach the Strait of Hormuz. Any vessels that defies this directive will remain targeted. Now, Iran's foreign minister is saying something slightly different than what the IRGC is saying. IRGC's foreign minister spokesperson is saying, you have to use our route, apply for the permits, and we'll let you through on the Iranian route, but we're not going to let you get through any other way in the Strait of Hormuz. Now, the U.S. is saying Israel has agreed to another ceasefire with Lebanon. It's the 50th war that Donald Trump stopped. I kid you not. That's what U.S. officials are saying. But despite the reported ceasefire that was just announced by the U.S. an hour ago, we're seeing Israel continue to strike inside of Lebanon. Very, very, very big strikes inside of Lebanon, likely killing many, many more people. And as I noted, Israel's National Security Minister Ben Gvir posted the following message moments ago. For every tear of an Israeli mother, 1,000 Lebanese mothers must weep. All of Lebanon must burn. With all due respect to the Americans, Israel must make it clear to the entire world that the blood of our sons and the security of our citizens are not forfeit. All of Lebanon must burn. Our supreme duty to protect the citizens of Israel and the soldiers of the IDF, and this commitment takes precedence over every other consideration. I told the Prime Minister, even in our private meetings, for every tear of an Israeli mother, 1,000 Lebanese mothers must weep. Enough with the ping pong. In the Middle East, you don't win with measured responses and restraint. You need to go berserk, to obliterate, to crush the terror. This is a maniacal, genocidal regime. We need to just call it out. And they are causing endless pain and suffering in the region, and they are causing endless pain and suffering around the world. And it is absolutely despicable. Call it out or be complicit, and do not waver, because what I just read there and what I'm observing by this Netanyahu regime is the most disgusting, despicable behavior that exists, period, full stop. Foreign Minister Araghchi of Iran is posting, this is not a rant by a random genocidal lunatic. It's a public post by the National Security Minister of the Israeli regime. He's right there. I mean, yes, that's accurate. The genocidal death cult headquartered in Tel Aviv is a threat to all humanity. It threatens all humans. Its only interest is permanent war. And Ben Gvir posting that and doing that and behaving that, it disgusts me to the core. I can't even express in language the anger that I feel towards that. Israel's defense minister, Israel Katz, said in Lebanon, the 200,000 residents who lived in our security zone are not returning. Not one of them is returning, boasting that now that area of Lebanon is owned by Israel. No, it isn't. No, it isn't, but that's what he's out there saying. We control 60% of Gaza. We destroyed the Lebanese border villages. We will not withdraw from Lebanon, Syria, or Gaza, Israel Katz says. And then you have Smotrich says, time to speak with fire. Open the gates of hell. This is what they're saying. This is what Israel's top leaders are saying right now. But what is Donald Trump saying? Axios interviewed him. Hey, Donald, are you going to be able to control Israel from attacking Lebanon? Here's what Donald Trump said to Mark Caputo. Let's play it.
Are you going to be able to control Israel from attacking Lebanon?
Yeah, I will be. I mean, I wonder. They have a lot of respect for me. and they do as I say.
How's your relationship with Netanyahu? Mark Caputo asked. Let's play this clip.
Your relationship with Netanyahu's...
It's good, but we have to keep him a little bit sane.
Meanwhile, you have senior Israeli officials telling their local network, we're not agreeing to any ceasefire whatsoever. We have no clue what Donald Trump or U.S. officials are talking about. We're going to strike harder, they say. Didn't you hear what Ben Gvir said? We're going in more. Try to stop us, is what they're telling their local news. They don't believe Donald Trump will stop. They think it's all words. They think, yeah, Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, they just say these things. Everybody views the United States as a paper tiger. You know how Donald Trump goes, paper tiger, paper tiger. The world views Donald Trump as the biggest, weakest paper tiger. I mean, look what's going on in Russia. According to that New York Times book by Maggie Haberman and Jonathan Swan, Regime Change, Steve Witkoff was like enamored and is enamored with Putin. During a meeting at the Kremlin, Putin was doodling on a piece of stationery and wrote 3+2, which referred to a territorial framework that they discussed about taking Ukraine's land. Witkoff asked Putin, can I keep your piece of paper? Can you sign it for me? And then Witkoff has it framed in his office. Want to know what else was going on behind closed doors? According to Regime Change, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth regularly shows Donald Trump the graphic footage of those drone strikes where the U.S. engages in those war crimes and slaughters people on fishing boats. And they both basically get off together on what's being referred to as Hegseth's snuff films. As they watch the charred bodies burn, they laugh and apparently enjoy that together. These are sick, sick human beings. There's no other way around it. According to Regime Change, Donald Trump remarked during a high-level Oval Office meeting, I'm not a big fan of Ukraine, except their women. They keep winning Miss Universe. And he described the Oval Office meeting where he and J.D. Vance were trying to gang up on Zelensky, and Zelensky pushed back as the greatest television. This was better than The Apprentice, Donald Trump has been telling people. Donald Trump also goes around comparing himself to historical rulers like Alexander the Great, Napoleon, Mao, Stalin, and Hitler, and that he's more powerful than them. Do you remember he posted 2 days ago? I showed you that post he made where he says, a great historian once told me, it was like a caddy. Not a great historian, no offense to caddies, but Trump's like, a great historian said it was some caddy who said that to him. That's who he attributes it to. And he said, you know, Hitler, Mao, Stalin, Alexander the Great, I'm actually more powerful than I'm all. Really? You think so? Because at the same time, you have Pete Hegseth realizing that our Defense Department has run out of money. We need $80 billion or the Defense Department goes bankrupt. So he's rushed to Congress for an emergency funding because America is completely out of money. And as I noted before, Trump privately calls Howard Lutnick a pussy because Lutnick originally pushed back on Donald Trump's tariffs against the world. Donald Trump said, I remember when you were 35, you were a killer. Trump said, according to the book, and now you've got your beautiful wife and your big house and you're just soft and you're a pussy. You know, you're a pussy, Lutnick. But after billions of dollars, Lutnick now says Lutnick flipped Trump's critique on him and would tell Trump that he was your $25 billion a month pussy or something. I mean, what's he even talking about? What are these people even saying right now? As I noted, there's currently a meeting, I guess, between Qatar and Switzerland taking place. I'm not sure that was the purpose of all of this. And Iran is saying, why do we even need to show up? The memorandum is signed. We can do discussions wherever. We don't want to show up to Switzerland. They don't want to be around the United. No one wants to be around this Trump regime. Anyway, let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.